Here's my build. The only thing I would consider switching is Blur, maybe for Bloodthirsty. It will depend on if you want the extra damage from the behind attack buff or if you want the extra mitigation. There's really no minor disciplines that are worth it, and Poison Mastery would come in handy versus some blackguards or tanks. I just don't find them to be that threatening, however. Our two majors are going to be Agent Provocateur and Night Stalker. The two minors are Careless Whisper and Shadows Linger. The only alternative I would say is instead of the Agent, because Caltrops is kind of worthless. Lay Low is a nice heal, but if you wanted to trade that off, you could go with Master of Darkness for the great stats that it provides, as well as the Stink Bomb, and to a minor extent, Preparation. Not much to go over on the gear. Get a high damage main hand, get a stat stick offhand, get a chest that has piercing and stealth. The helm, gloves, and boots I self-craft, and I just put stealth and a random resist since resists don't matter. Your jewelry, as long as it's DPS focused, is going to be good enough. For stats, max your dex out, put most of the rest into intellect. I like adding some into constitution. My goal was to have at least 8,500 health. That was at level 30, and I haven't respec'd since then. Here's a brief food pyramid, and then on to the fun part. So we've got a barb. Open up on him, and then you want to bait out as much of his Q spam as possible. Go ahead and pop your defensive while he sits here and spams. If you're lucky, they will spam all their Q, and then it is your kill window. Here's another barb. He manages his Qs a lot better. We'll open up on him. He'll immediately Q to get his damage mitigation up. He'll toss out some abilities, and as soon as he drops his mitigation, he re-Qs. You'll want to bait out 3 of them if possible before you reset the fight. There's his third, so I'll Q out and go to heal. Notice all he's really done is Q 3 times and toss out a couple attacks, and I'm at 10%. If they've got good weapons, this might be a fight that you can't handle. Once I'm bandaged, I go for the re-stealth. He'll have 1, maybe 2 Qs left, and then it'll be my kill window. So I'll set up the opener, get a good crit, he will Q. As soon as his blue goes down, kill him. On a Myrmidon, they have an ability that will heal for all damage you do to them. They can mitigate that through hitting their Q or hitting an ability that makes them run in all different directions. All you have to do is either time it perfectly like this, where they kill themselves, or start pumping the damage. He's used his ability, so he'll heal for everything. Right here is where he mitigates his crash. I go ahead and Q out to set up a burst. Since there's a sin on me, I don't want to take very much damage. He decides to bandage and dies before he can set up his mitigation again. For Templars, go ahead and skirmish with them. They're going to start blocking. You can play around with that until about half. If you time it right and anticipate them, you can get a stun like I did, and then go ahead and drop as much damage as possible. I got a good crit and he died. For Vandals, you can engage with them and skirmish a little bit, but you'll want to queue out fairly early to set up your burst. I hesitated here. He is attacking and popping mitigation, so might as well go ahead and heal up just a bit before re-engaging. Set up your burst, try and dodge his Envenom if you can, like I did there, and then get back on him and kill him. For Blackguards, open up on them, pop Blur, that way you don't take too much damage. Let them set up all their dots, let them burn through their mitigation and Envenoms. As soon as they turn vulnerable, go ahead and queue out and set up your burst. And overwhelm them. For groups of 4 like this, decide who you want to open on. The obvious choice is the half health guy. Once you knock him down, kite away, try and save your Q. You can use the pillars here as the line of sight blocks. They didn't decide to chase, which just made it easy. Decide who you're going on next. I start to go on the naked guy, but this one is trying to run away and we just can't have that. I get them down without taking any damage, so there's no reason to not continue the fight. Now that that guy's down, Q out to set up burst, and then proceed to miss every single attack. Since I failed miserably, I back up, get the re-stealth to reopen, and put this one down as well. For this group of 3, the Confessor separated themselves, which made them the first choice, even with their Q ability. However, I kill them before they can Q. Hang back to get a re-stealth. Unfortunately, the mob decides to target me in stealth, so I decide to go the long way around the hut. What's left is a Templar and a rat. The Templar is defensive, so might as well go on the rat. Unfortunately, I don't crit here, so he survives, gets a Q off. For some reason I can still see him, so just follow him a bit and then reopen to finish the deal. Immediately kite away to prevent any dots being put on me so I can get my re-stealth. However, I'm not sure it was needed. For this Barb and Blackguard, I open on the Blackguard assuming he doesn't have Shadow Step as his ultimate. Unfortunately he does, so as soon as he Qs out, I will start lazily DPSing the Barb, waiting on the Blackguard to come back. As soon as he does, kill the Blackguard. The Barb is Q'd once. I still have to bait out a few more. I decide to go ahead and expose and set up a little bit of a burst. Thankfully, the Barb just spams his Q and wastes a lot of his mitigation, which hands me the fight easily. On this group of 3, I choose to go on the Confessor to try and bait out his Qs. He obliges with an early Q, and I start kiting to get a re-stealth. The Confessor is sitting there, reopen, try and force out his second Q, which I get. And again, since I don't have poisons or dots or anything, go ahead and start kiting. I see the opportunity for the kill, and I go in. Now I'm back to kiting, trying to get a re-stealth so I can expose and start again. Unfortunately, the Blackguard gets on me, so I have to kite a little bit harder. I choose to get a few ticks of a bandage before queuing into stealth. I pop my in-stealth heal, start looking for the knight. At this point I've used my Q, so I am all in. I get the knight down, and it's time to kite for a re-stealth. I get the re-stealth, and then I miss my expose. So now I'm at a disadvantage, and I can just sit in stealth and heal up. I don't open here because there is a chance he could kill me since I don't have the expose up. Now that I'm half health, I figure I can try and bait him out. I go for the ultimate bait. He takes it. While I didn't need to burn my cue here, it did seal the win with the least amount of difficulty. Well guys, hopefully this wasn't pissing in the wind and it actually helped y'all out. If you have any questions, feel free to post here, ask me in game, or etc.